Welcome to the final video of this build, which has been a long time coming. I think I started this, I don't know, January maybe? And we are just to the fourth episode of this. So, sorry about that, but this one has posed a decent amount of challenges, shall we say. I also had to move workshops as I'm no longer working on my porch. And here I am working on the porch. That's how long ago this was. But I basically had to get set up from scratch to be able to keep building. So there was a couple weeks there where I got nothing done on any projects. So yeah, here we are with the finish. Oh, where do I start with the finish? We're lacquering it here, but we're clear coating. It's all lacquer actually that was used. Primer, the paint, and then the clear coat. So many little issues with the lacquer, kept tearing out little chips. So many. I spent weeks repairing little parts, and even right here, taking that out a little bit chipped out, and I used a razor blade, I used tape, I used all kinds of things, but we keep on pushing forward. And I sanded it down and then sprayed more on, and then sanded it down and sprayed more on, and just kept on going. So you can see me here. I'm just using distilled water as my lubricant for the sandpaper. And you got to watch for it gumming up, because it can gum up real bad when you're taking off finish. And I did that for quite a while. So we're skipping ahead to the polishing. And this is where you can still see a lot of your flaws. And even with all the repairs and stuff like that, you'll see later in the video, the finish still didn't turn out the way I had hoped. But I figured the guitar would play well. I mean, that's something, isn't it? All the sanding took quite a while, just to slowly work your way up, and you don't want to burn through too fast. But you're basically trying to get everything nice and even so you can polish it out. And I think I went back and kept sanding after the polishing. So I polished it once, wasn't happy with it, and then decided to keep going. Just lots and lots of patience is what it took for the sanding here. So we're bored of sanding and decided to move on to the neck. We're going to continue putting the inlays in. I wouldn't say I regret the way I did the inlays, but it was a learning experience. Nothing was inherently wrong with them. It took quite a while. I wish I could have purchased the trapezoid shape and cut out to those, but having to create them and fit them and everything, it was a challenge. I learned a lot about inlaying though. I think in the end it turned out pretty good, which you should see here once I start fretting it. It's too late at night. I'd try to make a pun, but it's not even worth it. So yeah, here we are fretting it. Sanded it all down pretty nice. As you can see, the inlays look pretty good. I was very happy with the way they turned out in the end. Even with the mistakes, I was able to recover from those for the most part. I've also had a lot of editing issues lately, trying to get the programs to work. I lost a few files on the video recording. There's some things that I just didn't record because I was too focused on the work and didn't bother to have a camera set up. So sorry about that. I wish I could show everything, but like I said, it's been busy. There's been a lot going on. I'm just happy to finally be finishing up this project and this video, and we'll move on to the next thing. Although it'll actually be returning to something that is also already in progress. So frets are hammered in and looking good. Time to snip them. There, you can see, you get a good shot of the inlays right there. See how they look. For it being the first time that I did those type of inlays, thought it looked pretty good. Now, because the neck is done, I did all the filing, crowning, I did all that sort of stuff. That is one of the things I didn't record. So I was talking about not having stuff set up. That was one of them. So nice snug fit on the neck right there. We are gluing it in. I have never glued a neck before. A little shaky right there. So this is the first time. There's also the angle in the neck pocket. Didn't know exactly how that was going to turn out. I did measure everything over and over with the bridge, the degrees. Basically tried being as precise as possible. And it turned out not too bad. Now, we will be getting to stuff that did not turn out well, that created a lot of extra work. So I'm putting in the shielding paint there. Some lacquer got into the cavities, and it did not shield properly. We'll talk about that in a second. One other thing that happened here is the posts did not line up properly. I also stopped filming a lot here. All I'm going to say is that shot right there, tailpiece that you see, I'm not even going to say what I did to get that tailpiece to fit. But it fits. It's on there. It's not coming off. But it works and it does the job. There I am sanding out some of the shielding paint and all of that stuff. So that I could respray it. I resprayed it, and in the end it still did not ground properly. I didn't think there was a grounding issue. I had checked with the multimeter, and I was getting a very bad hum when I had the guitar plugged in, both pickups, everything like that. Ended up taking everything off, and I re-shielded it. You'll see how. I think I actually have a little shot of that. But there's all the wiring. Also did not record the wiring. There's a lot of stuff I ended up not recording here. I don't know if that's better or worse. I mean, like, you don't have to sit through boring wiring, or boring sanding, or boring fret work, or any of that in this build, because I just don't have the shots. So now we're screwing on the plate. And then I proceeded to test it. And, well, I proceeded to test it once I put all the hardware on, such as tuning keys, which I'm doing right there. And putting the strings on. And messing around with the nut. All of that stuff. So there I am using nut files very carefully. I spent a decent amount of time setting this up as well, which I'm not going to show. Good thing about this video too is it is relatively short because I didn't have a ton of shots, so you don't have to hear me speak for a whole lot longer. That is what I did to make up for the shielding. I got some tape from Home Depot and used that, and that solved the problem, thankfully. No more hum. It sounded great. So we're going to get a quick demo here with my terrible playing. Thanks for watching. We're going to have a montage as well in the next video.